Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's more like it. We're finally here at Oilers Nation After Dark, ready to talk about a W, the very first one of the Edmonton Oilers season. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Aaron Bordato, live inside the Sports Closet studio, where the very first comment of the game was from the real Tyler Mulick, and it was just a smiley face. Arrow said, first period reaction. Well, Tyler, I'm sure that your smiley face has grown in size because that was one hell of a performance from the Edmonton Oilers as they took down the Nashville Predators by a score of 6-1. The name of the episode for the pregame show was The Mayor of Smashville. And let me tell you, he came out and he showed up tonight. Leon Draisaitl finished with 2 goals and 2 assists. He wasn't the only Oilers forward with a 4-point night, as Zach Hyman was able to bury one and get 3 apples. Yes, Zach Hyman, you might ask, yes, he is on the second line. And yes, Tyler, earlier today, did make a bet saying he would do Shot of Crown Royal tomorrow live on the show if the second line was able to bury one. Well, Tyler, they didn't just bury one. They buried 2 as contract year Warren Fogle showed up and showed out and got on the scoreboard. As always, I am joined by the man behind the desk with me, Gavin Turinek. Gavin, how are you doing today? Because that was one hell of a game.
Wow. Let's go. First Oilers Nation After Dark following a win. Vibes are high. The chat is absolutely loving it. I'm loving it, Aaron. What a game for the Edmonton Oilers.
It sure is. The chat is absolutely bumping right now, and I feel like a lot of it is centered towards Tyler. Scotty91 says, and Tyler wanted to trade Campbell for Saros. Tyler should eat cat food for that take. Well, instead, ladies and gentlemen, our boy is going to be doing a shot from our friends at Crown Royal. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Now, we did talk earlier. We were talking in our group chats. Now I got to try and put this thing back. That's the hard part right there. We were talking in the group chat, and I said because it's 2 goals, shouldn't that be 2 shots necessarily? I think so. So let me know in the chat where you guys kind of fall out on that. Actually, Gavin, you should pull up a poll right now and ask if that's worth 1 or 2. Knowing Tyler, I'm sure he will find a way to just do 1. But I'd like to come in with a little bit of evidence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing it in here. 80-2. 80-2 is back as a possibility for the Oilers record this year. I see Chris Walking says the Oilers are back, and here Hope Soup gets in the groove. Quail says great start to the season for the Oil. That's right, because if you caught pre-gaming earlier today, we said that this was the unofficial/official start to the season. This was take 3. And Gavin, we did it. The boys showed up. What impressed you the most tonight?
Honestly, obviously just a quick start, but we saw it against Vancouver, right? But we kind of led Vancouver into that hockey game. But today came out strong, kept the foot on the gas pedal. And Jack Campbell, oh my God, over
Jack
40
Campbell.
saves for Soup. Huge bounce back game for him. Love to see it.
I think Jack Campbell we're only 3 games into the season, but I'm pretty sure he's in the lead for save of the year with that scorpion pad wind up around the post. That was incredible, man. And that was an awesome sight to see.
And it was right after the 4-1 goal. So absolutely huge save because that goal makes it 4-2. That puts Nashville back in the hockey game. So huge save from Campbell. And one thing that we've kind of seen from Campbell in the past was he kind of let those goals compact. He didn't really have that short memory, but he had that tonight. He bounced back right after the Nashville goal.
Yeah, there was a lot of good things about tonight. Honestly, it's hard to pick and choose. But let's go through the scoring summary. Once again, as I said, presented by our friends at Crown Royal. They're the best. I can't wait to see Tyler do this tomorrow at noon. Maybe he'll get a nice little buzz going on.
Yeah, poll is live. Poll is live,
Kate. So people let me know where are we at right now with
94%.
Of course. I knew what the result of this poll was going to be. I just wanted to be able to come to Tyler.
I'm honestly surprised it's not unanimous.
Exactly. Yeah. Who voted 1? Let me know in the chat who voted 1, and I might have to put you in a virtual timeout. But the scoring summary, things started well. They started early. I mean, to be honest, it looked like Nashville came out absolutely bumping and on fire. They were throwing puck after puck at the net.
The mayor himself.
Until the mayor himself showed up. Leon Draisaitl was able to bury one with 8-11 on the power play, assisted by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. We called it. I think everybody in Edmonton, I think every Oilers fan, probably across North America,
we knew he was going to have a game tonight.
We
really did.
To take the over on everything Leon Draisaitl, and boy, did he not disappoint. It was quickly followed by a Zach Hyman goal. Take that, Tyler. Was assisted by Evan Bouchard and Leon Draisaitl, of course. Then with 16:45, we had the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Which goal is this?
This is Hyman, 2-0.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. Beautiful.
From his usual spot.
From his usual spot, right in the blue paint. I was only one game off with my prediction. I said last game we were going to get a greasy Zach Hyman net front presence goal. Well, I was just one game behind, but we got to see it.
We got it, though.
It was nice to see. And I know there was some worries beforehand about line number 2, because the blender, there was a lot of takes about the blender came out too early for Jay Woodcroft. Well, I guess we can at least nip that in the bud for right now. Doing. I think Woody might be the coach for a reason. I don't know. We might be on YouTube for our reason. We'll go with that. Our third goal, as I said, was scored by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, assisted by Warren Fogle and Zach Hyman. There's another 5-on-5. There you go. And then, of course, Connor McDavid was able to bury at the end of the period.
Oh, my God.
I still don't know how
he did this.
What even happened on this goal?
He didn't even slow down.
Somehow the
maintain speed.
Maintain the puck, does a complete 360, is able to bury. You could tell it was the Oilers' night pretty much at this point, Gavin.
Yes.
I think everything was about to go our way.
Yeah, exactly. And that goal obviously knocked Saros out of this game too, because then they went to their backup at the intermission. So honestly, I cannot get over that goal. And someone asked us in the in our comment section, how does this compare to his rookie goal against Columbus?
I'm not going to say it's up there with that one because I don't know. There was a little bit of, and I don't want to upset anyone, a little bit of dumb luck, I think, in this one. But
we'll take it.
I mean, dumb luck from Connor McDavid. I don't know if that's necessarily luck. So I'll tell you what that. It's going to be, I don't even know if that's a top 10 goal for me for Connor McDavid.
Which is absolutely crazy to say.
Says so much.
Anyone else, this would be a top 10 goal in their career.
Exactly. Let me know in the chat where you guys think. I got it here. McSpinaroonie. That's right, Corey. It was a McSpinaroonie, and I love those goals. But as Gavin mentioned, that was the end of the first period, 4-0. And it was a little taken back when the second period came back, and UC Saros, the man that was a large topic of conversation today at Nation HQ about what you would give up to get UC Saros. I believe Tyler's final offer was 2 firsts. Dylan Holloway.
And Broberg.
And Jack Campbell for the money in there as well. I was not a fan of that trade, and I know I've seen a couple people in here quick to, and it's, as I said before, Gavin, that is so classic Edmonton Oilers fans, quick reaction. They were saying like, well, tonight it looks like that Jack Campbell's the better goalie, and that would be an L trade for the Oilers. I don't know about that, people. Yeah. It's just one game. I think I would still have UC Saros, but I am always down to keep piling on Mr. Tyler Yaremchuk. Boom, we get into the second period where Thomas Novak was able to bury. I said in the pregame show, he was my player to watch. That guy is electric. He's kind of all over the place. We kind of pointed out some similarities.
And what is the nickname you guys gave him?
Novechkin.
That's right.
He knifed tonight. So there you go. I'm still alive with that comparison, I guess you could say. But it was on the power play, assisted by Ryan O'Reilly. I know there was some nerves. That was then when the Jack Campbell crazy scorpion save came into play. We really needed that one. It was a very surprising thing to see getting a save like that. Whoa, I see in the chat officially here, not Tyler Mulick. Now there's so many not Tyler Mulick either's in there. I see. We have the best. We honestly in the world. I love you guys so much. This makes me laugh. So it was quickly then after the save, Leon Draisaitl was able to bury his second of the game on the power play. The Edmonton Oilers power play was once again buzzing. 2 of 3. I think it's pretty fair to say, Gavin, that they are back on the power play. They never left.
No, and make this back-to-back games with now 2 power play goals for the Edmonton Oilers. So yeah, they're back, and once again, making a huge difference in hockey games.
They are buzzing. And then, of course, finally, the last goal of the game was scored by Warren Fogle Contract year, Warren Fogle. I'm loving this guy this season. He looks like a different player, a motivated player.
100%.
He's all over the place. You notice him every time he's on the ice.
I'm glad it wasn't a breakaway, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Well, yeah, we knew he wasn't going to bury on that. And just like I said, there's a Brett Kulak 7, there's a McDavid 7, and a Fogle 7. Don't lie to me. Sometimes people, you think that is Connor McDavid, but that would be the final score as nothing was scored in the third period. The Oilers come out on top 6-1. It was a night that we have all been looking for.
We are there.
And I know one man who's been looking for this and looking forward to this, and that is the man who built the place, Jay Downton, who we have standing by, ready to join us. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that smile on Jay. His teeth are smiling. Jay, what did you think of the game? What an awesome night. Are we back?
Oh, man, there's so much to talk about after your whole opening. Of course, we're back. That was a commanding appearance that we had in Nashville. It is just amazing. I don't know what it is. If it's the water, if it's going to Tootsie's to warm up pregame. Something about Nashville just brings out the best in us. And goddamn it, Leon is still the mayor. So that was a very kind of reassuring performance. Not that we need to be like, the sky is falling, but the sky kind of was falling. We went 0-2 in the fashion that we did. The thing that we did not bring up is how we are closing the gap on the goal differential. That was a huge game.
I was predicting we coming into this game. I think we're talking about -9 coming in. So
I was predicting after the Philly game. This is after the first game of the season, not the second game, that we would be caught up. So things are back on track. So that's good. Tyler should do 2 shots. He totally.
We're asking if he's going to be
totally
work tomorrow.
I think we might be doing
the cat food bet.
So I think that's all the more reason for him to do 2 shots. I don't make the rules.
Well, and it's not even a punishment. It's Crown Royal. It's the good stuff. It's top shelf.
They're the best. They're right here. We haven't dipped into this bottle yet, but this one's just for show.
Well, I've got one behind Chris Chalmers do it on Nation Real Life here as the season goes on.
Yep, there you go. Well, it was one fantastic night. So why don't we get into the good, bad, and oily, which is presented by Alberta Blue Cross. And ladies and gentlemen, there's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that's making new ones. Visit Alberta Blue Cross for Alberta Blue Cross travel insurance that protects your memories and more wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Okay, Gavin, let's get into it. The good, there was so many things to pick from, but I think everybody knows what it is. It's soup. The man played out of his mind. He was making the saves that we've been asking for on all our shows and podcasts, saying, when I don't need shutouts, I don't need a crazy game from him. I just need you to make the stops when they need to be stopped. And he did that. 42 saves on 43 shots. Jay, break it down for me. What did you think of Soup tonight?
I stopped the puck tonight. This is what we thought Soup was when we signed him to his contract. If it was last year's Soup, I bet you that game was a 1-goal game. So he, Nashville created their chances. They got a lot of rubber on net, and Soup stood in there. So clearly, he's feeling it. So that is a big reason, and gave the guys confidence. Like, we came out of, what was it after the first period? 3-0, 4-0?
4-0.
4-0 after the first.
4-0, yeah. And then we kind of came out flat.
We did
for a little bit, and granted, we did cough up a goal there, but that was not Soup's fault. That was actually, I hate to say it, was my boy Ekholm's fault, making a bad choice, just giving the puck back there in the corner and losing the battle.
He's back home. I'm going to give him a pass on that one.
Oh yeah, well, he's still not recovered yet. Like, he's still trying to get into his game shape. So you got to give him some time and space, and that was a nice tribute to the game. But yeah, Soup stood on his head, and he is like, how can you not? Like, he's our number 1 goalie right now. Like, he's got to be. We got to keep riding Soup right now. He's
the man. I see a lot of people here in the chat agreeing with you. I laughed at this one. Chris Ward said, "Back to preseason shape." That's right, Soup. That's
where we want him.
Right there. I see Liam's in the chat. Shout out Liam. Oilers forever. Yeah, I was very impressed by Jack Campbell, as the preseason hype was almost, I mean, Jay, we said it on the first show. We were drinking the Kool-Aid. I was arguably shotgunning the Kool-Aid. I wanted it so bad. I think
all Oilers fans were, for sure.
And we weren't they couldn't say that you were surprised after game one. I don't even know how much I blame that game on Soup, but it was very reassuring to see him bounce back. And like we said, after the first one was scored on him, we were quickly, I think everybody was clenched up a little bit, being like, uh-oh, are the Oilers going to do what the Oilers do? I fully expected Tyson Barrie to score a goal right there, to be an ex-Oiler. But then he made the Scorpion save. It was pretty unreal performance. Gavin, what are you giving Jack Campbell out of 10 tonight?
It's a 10 out of 10. Obviously, the guy makes over 40 saves. And we were talking about pregame. We were hoping that he'd have over a 9 save percentage.
Yeah.
And he did that and more. Obviously, he gave the Oilers a chance to win today because, like Jay mentioned, too, Nashville did generate their scoring chances. And Jack Campbell came to this game. And honestly, he won this game for us. Obviously, our offense did it too. But Jack Campbell, 10 out of 10.
Yep. I see a couple of things in here, Jay. You'll appreciate this. Jake Walters said, Jay's got that baby sleeping voice going on right now.
He's dead on.
I'll try to be quiet as well.
I'm downstairs in the basement. I got the door closed, and we just put Crawford down literally like 20 minutes ago. So
let me know, everybody in the chat, what you think of Jay's new backdrop, because I really like the backdrop, and I was looking at those steins
You have the
before
Oilers
the
Nation
show.
fists in there.
You got everything right there, Jay. I like that.
I'm a avid Stein collector.
That makes a house.
This one's from Germany, and this little, see that little rock on top of it? That's actually a piece of the Berlin Wall. So this one's kind of connected to history.
Wow, would you look at that? A little history lesson.
Wow. This is my Matthias Ekholm. Stein.
Yeah.
Viking beard.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Now, there was lots of good tonight. You could go from Leon Draisaitl. You could go Warren Fogle.
There's
you could
many
go
different directions we could have went for
McDavid's
that.
absolute nasty goal. It was the night we were all looking for, but we will kind of get into that a little bit more as we unpack the game. But as we know, with the good comes the bad. We didn't want to nitpick, but if we had to nitpick, Philip Broberg was our choice for the bad tonight. It hasn't really been the ideal start for Philip Broberg that I think everybody has kind of hoped. It's only 3 games in. I'm not pressing any panic buttons or anything, but I did see a couple of things. We went TikTok live during the first and second intermissions. Yeah. Some people bringing up Vinny Desharnais' name. I know people did earlier today. Philip Broberg just kind of looks like he's chasing the game a little bit in our own end.
He panics with the puck too.
He just seems like he's panicking. He doesn't seem like himself. Jay, what have you thought of Philip Broberg tonight specifically, and then kind of overall in the 3 games?
You said no need to push the panic button, but he's put together a pretty long body of work here. It's more than just 3 games, and we're seeing the same stuff. Not exactly like not confident under pressure, chasing the game, easy to knock around. Like, he can skate, he's got the tools, but for some reason he's having a tough time putting it together right now. So, to me, it is a bit of a concern because this is a guy we've now had in our system for, a decent amount of time. So, we got to be patient with defensemen in their development, but you got to think we got to start seeing some steps forward, and it's not happening right now. So, I would agree with your bad. If I don't know how I this is my first After Dark of the year. Aaron, you're doing a kick-ass job. I know there's probably a new format. So does this go around? Do I have to say one when it comes to me, or are we just jumping on?
You don't have to, but if you have one, see, we didn't want to nitpick. I didn't even want to give a bad
time. Mine has nothing to do with the Edmonton Oilers. It has everything to do with the fans of the Nashville Predators. Why the hell are you leaving a game early when Connor McDavid's on the ice? What are you doing? You got to take advantage of that opportunity. Like, what the hell was going on? Building was like 20% people left by the end of it. I get your team's getting shit kicked, but if Connor McDavid's on the ice, you stay and you watch him.
It's theater on ice, and they're not going to get that many opportunities to watch a guy like that. But hey, maybe it's a weekday game. I don't know, but I can tell you that's not happening out here in Edmonton, Jay. I know
there's no such thing as weekdays in Nashville.
Yeah, actually, very good call. That's an incredibly good guy. I totally went over my head. Yeah, there's no reason. Maybe they went to Tootsie's. Maybe they just left and went to Tootsie's early.
I think about Tootsie's all the time.
I've never been, and I know so much about it. I can't wait till I go. But there's a couple people in here. As I said, we didn't want to pick a bad, but they've got Broberg's back. Rusty the Reckless Optimist said, I thought Bro Beans was fine. His skating is so good. Corey said, I honestly thought Broberg played decently. And right, that's once again, it's decently. I don't think he had a terrible game.
In a 6-0 game, it was definitely hard for us to pick it bad, right? But like at the same time, like to give Broberg's credit, he's only played 72 games in his NHL career, but he really has not adjusted to the pace yet. But obviously that comes with time.
Yeah, exactly. Not Tyler Mulick said Broberg had some seriously good plays. He will come through.
He flashes for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm seeing some people in here. Genesis said Hollywood seriously looking like a superstar in season 2. We'll get into that as we unpack that. But you know what, Gavin? Let's get into the Oilie because I think this is what everybody wants to talk about. It's the mayor of Smashville. It's Leon Draisaitl.
Running for another term.
The man.
As the mayor.
Oh, that's true, actually. Maybe he could break the record for terms probably
I think so.
In that city.
Longest serving mayor in Nashville history, yeah.
And like we talked about it on the pregame show before, how it honestly doesn't even make sense why Nashville is the team that he does this against. Because
it's very easy. I'll tell you why. If you go and look into this, and sorry to jump into it, but you invited me on. This is what happens when you do that. Nashville is the sister city of Edmonton, so he just feels comfortable. It's his city. Nashville is Edmonton. Edmonton is Nashville. So therefore, it is Leon, you hot bitches city.
Oh, yeah, it is Leon, you hot bitch. Actually, Gavin, do we have that? Do we have that graphic? I wanted to bring
Shout out to Kennedy.
Shout out to Kennedy because she threw this up. I think this is going to be the name of the show tomorrow. Leon, you hot bitch with Tyler Yaremchuk, sponsored by Crown Royal.
Love it.
But Leon Draisaitl, Gavin, once again, you called it in your Betway bets, which we will unpack in just a minute. But Leon showed up once again. Are you even surprised?
Honestly, I kind of had a tweet about this. We should have been surprised that Draisaitl put up 4 points throughout the second period, but I honestly was not. You throw him on a line with Connor McDavid going to this game and showing his history against the Nashville Predators, you knew he was due for a huge night.
Yeah, exactly. I just see everybody here dry as the mayor already on Wiki. So good. I would love somebody to check if that is actually a thing, if somebody changed him to be the mayor of Smashville. I love watching Leon Draisaitl just stay in that spot his Ovechkin office. UC Saros did make a save from him on that spot earlier in the game because I think everybody and their dog knew that puck was going to go there. And I think even Leon noticed that because then as the puck was still in their zone, he found a way to sneak into the front of the net, untouched, a little bing, bang, boom,
found the open space.
Back of the net. And you're like, wow, that guy can score from everywhere, Jay.
Well, he has scored from behind the goal line. So, yeah, the guy just defies physics and also just a smart guy, stealthy when he needs to be. And you can't give that guy any space with the puck because he can shoot it. So,
and goals in consecutive games. 3 consecutive games open up the season.
Coming for you, Austin Matthews, buddy. Coming for you.
It's the long game. It's not about doing it in blasts. It's about just doing it consistently.
Consistency. That's right, Jay. I see Kennedy. Kennedy is in here getting her love for the logo and confirmed somebody from the Discord did, in fact, go change Leon Draisaitl's Wikipedia page to be the mayor of Nashville.
Love it.
I love the Discord, boys. You guys keep it up and you keep that going all the time. So, Gavin, I believe we're done with the good, bad, and oily presented by Alberta Blue Cross. This one, because on a game like today, there's so many options you could go with. We've got our DoorDash hot and cold performers of the game. And as you might have noticed, there is a nice promo code on your screen. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code, all capitals, Nation25. I ever feel like every time I say DoorDash, I hear ding dong in the background of my head. That's 25% off, up to $10 value, and 0 delivery fees on your first order. Get it in the App Store and enter the code Nation25. Don't forget the code on your screen, all caps, Nation25. We love DoorDash. So for me, my hot performer of the game, Jay, this is where we're going to go around and ask you your hot performer of the game. So you've got a little time here. My hot performer of the game, besides Jack Campbell, besides Leon Draisaitl, it's Warren Foegele. It's the Foegele. It is. Oh, yeah. Bring this up for me.
Let's ride.
Let's ride, ladies and gentlemen. If you know me, I love to yell at the top of my lungs. Let's ride. So when I saw this clip, when they tweeted that out, I had the biggest smile on my face. But it's Warren Foegele. The guy gets upgraded to the second line, continues his hot play he was doing on the third line. Honestly, I'm starting to think it just might be a Warren Fogle thing. Jay, what'd you think of the Fogue daddy?
He was a different player for the last 20 games of the season and going into the playoffs, and he's seemed to continue that forward into this season. Consistency has always been a struggle for him. So, he's been very visible. He's a factor now. So obviously contract year does play in it, and that's fine. We'll take that. Our time is now. So we need Fogle, being as good as he can be. So go get those cookies, buddy. And chase that contract, and let's see what we can do this season together. But I'm all in right now on that guy.
Yep, that's right. Gavin, you got any other hot performance that stood out to you?
I think I have to give to Zach Hyman. Yep. Zach Hyman, he only played 13 minutes today, but he still found a way to put up 4 points, a shot on goal, and it was a +3 tonight.
Yep.
And he got into the dirty area to put away his first goal of the year. So shout out to Zach Hyman too. He's definitely my hot performer of the day.
It's very weird that you can get 4 points in 13 minutes and like a 4-point night, but it kind of went under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Here and there, he was able to bury one. Jay, you got?
Yeah, just to keep it DoorDash themed. What about our boy Gene Principe and the Edmonton poutine hot dog that he dropped on the floor?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Use Nation 25, order yourself a poutine hot dog, and don't drop it on the floor like Gene. Who could also be our cold performer really if you wanted to, but
yeah,
God loves that guy. He punned his way through that one. He dropped it and he just dropped pun like a smoke bomb to make us think that he forgot he even dropped the hot dog.
Gene's the
impressive.
Best. I love that guy. What'd you think of the hot dog? Because I'm not going to lie to you, it looked pretty good to me. I might have even picked it up off the floor. And
I would have too. Well, let's be honest. If I'm in Nashville, I'm going there as an Oilers fan, obviously. Probably going to have a few beers, maybe a Crown Royal and cola. And I'm going to be hungry, and I'm going to see Edmonton dog on the menu. And so it's going to tug on the heartstrings. I'm also going to see that it involves poutine. And I'm going to be in a state of mind that requires a poutine. So smashing that together, given the setting, I think would be an absolute home run.
One of my absolute home runs that I love is a good tater tot poutine. After a night of beers out at the bar. Most specifically, no free shout outs, but the Don't Air shop on White Ave. I'll leave it at that. They do a great tater tot poutine that honestly I'm getting about it right now.
Man. Tater tots are elite. I'm a shredded hash brown guy, but I do love tater tots.
I knew I liked you, Jay. I knew I liked you from day one. Okay, and with the hot performer comes the cold performer. I wasn't going to pick an Edmonton Oiler. I didn't really want to pick Philip Broberg for the bad. So my cold performer is UC Saros. As we heard earlier, Tyler was talking it up today about UC Saros and how, now don't get me wrong, he's a great goaltender. He's a Vezina caliber goaltender.
Still elite for sure.
He's still elite. I'd still take him over either one of our guys. But tonight, our guy was able to outplay him. He allowed 4 goals on 11 shots and was yanked by the first period, by the start of the second. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little stunned when we started the second period. And I was in here, games going out there, and Gavin yelled at me, he's pulled. I didn't even know who you were talking about. I didn't even think that was an option. But they did it. Jay, we were able to light up one of the best goaltenders in the league tonight.
Well, I think he was emotionally compromised. His boy Matthias is back in town. He misses him. He misses his defensive abilities. So a lot of stuff was going on in his head. So he was an emotional wreck, and we took advantage of that. Thank you, Matthias. Sorry, UC, about your luck. You're allowed to have an off night. You're elite. We exposed you. And
Gavin, any other cold performers? Not from the Oilers, that's for sure.
I do have one.
Oh, you.
I do. I don't know if I want to be that guy, but now I'll be that guy.
Be that guy.
I was hoping to see a little bit more from Evander Kane tonight still. I know we kind of brought him up last game. And he gets slotted with Draisaitl and McDavid. I was kind of expecting him, light up the score sheet a little bit, but he still didn't make that difference to me today. I don't know if that's just me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Evander Kane had 1 assist, 1 shot in 17 minutes of ice, playing on the top line.
And he looks slow.
He looks very slow. He looks like there's lead in his skates. Jay, what are you seeing from Evander?
Yeah, he's off to a slow start. The movement, there's a lot of things going on there. I'm hoping he can find it here soon because he's a needed weapon. We need him. We need him scoring. We just need him, competing and being that power forward that we got to know and love in his first season with us. So slow start. I hope it's just a slow start and just takes a little bit of time to get that guy going. But right now I'll be patient. But there's reason to be concerned for sure.
Yeah, my brain, it always kind of goes to, and I know people don't want to hear this on game 3 of the season, but I view Evander Kane as a playoff performer. He's a playoff guy. So for me, as long as his game is rolling when it really matters, laying the body, being that power forward you just described, I don't want to freak out 3 games in. Am I a little nervous? Am I a little thrown off? Because he hasn't looked like the same player since really that injury, maybe even the year before.
Well, and where does Evander Kane see most of his success from? In the dirty areas, in front of the net. And honestly, he's not doing that anymore. He's not there. He's just, exactly. He just simply is not there. So I think for Kane to get going, he needs to put a couple pucks off his ass in the net, just maybe to kind of juice him up a little bit, pot a couple of goals, just find himself in the dirty areas, and then just let him take off.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people here agree on the Kane front. Lance Kane says, I agree. Chell Iverson said 100% right about Kane. And then they're back to what they would let Gavin do, and they'd let Gavin walk their cats. I'd like, Jay, there is this ridiculous bit going on in the chat here of what they would let Tyler, myself, or Gavin do, and let's just say they're getting ridiculous. Rusty agrees with me. I also see in here for cold performer, not Tyler Mulick, said Kulak. Bit of a cold performer as well. I don't know. I didn't think
I didn't
Kulak
think that
had a bad game.
No, not today for sure.
Jay, anything?
Yeah, he was, he wasn't overly noticeable, which isn't a bad thing. He got that post there, had a good shot there, that one chance. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I honestly, those are the only cold performers that I want to get into because I don't want to spoil.
We won 6-1.
I don't want to spoil a night like this. This was a good night. And you know how this night got even better, young Gavin?
What's that?
Well, the Boardsies bankroll segment today. Boy, Gavin, are we on fire. The last 2 games in a row. So if you don't know, on Pre-Gaming with Boardsy, the Oilers Nation pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford, we pre-pick 3 bets that we like that Gavin here supports with some statistics. Today's bets were Oilers puck line.
Easy.
Cash money. The second one was Oilers to win with McDavid 2 points.
This one was a little bit of a sweat, but we got there.
It was because they initially didn't credit Connor with the assist on what goal was that?
That was the one.
So Bouchard,
I know he went 6-1. All the goals kind of meshed together, but it's the one that Broberg assisted on as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then our third bet was Leon Draisaitl over 3.5 shots on goal. Got them in the
first period.
That was the one that the chat voted on. So that's the one that keeps on the record. We're currently 2-1 on these bets. But Gavin, we said it ourselves before. We were going to ride with all 3 of these. And all 3 of
back-to-back
these,
games.
check. The floor is yours,
we went
Gavin.
6 for 6.
If the people want to thank you for making them a little bit of money in the chat here, I'm sure you wouldn't appreciate that. But Gavin, the numbers presented this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Take it from there.
Well, yeah, like the easy one that we were even talking on the pregame show and even in the office before we went live was that Leon Draisaitl shot prop over 3.5 was easy money. He did that in 8 of the last 10 games against Nashville. And in those 10 games, he was averaging over 5 shots on goal. And he had 7 shots against Vancouver on Saturday. So Draisaitl was putting the puck on the net. Oh, and forgot to mention, he was playing with Connor McDavid today. He's playing with Connor McDavid. So that's also why I had to lock that one up.
It was the perfect storm. It really was. Nashville. It was, we needed a win, and you're on Connor McDavid's wing. Jay, how did your wallet get treated today by our friends at Betway? Any successes? Any misses?
Well, I went all in on Leon. So Leon over 2.5 points was my bet. I had a rough start to the season. I don't know about you guys. So I limped into tonight, and I'm an idiot because that's not my normal self. I would have had every pre-built bet with Leon hammered for tonight, but I have to ease my way back in, get my confidence back. So I just went Leon over 2.5 points because that's what the mayor does when he goes to his constituents and plays in front of them, puts up points. So yeah, it was a good night. Getting back in the momentum going, building up the bankroll again.
Yeah, it was good. I see not Tyler Mulick here said, paid out in the first period. You're right,
Yeah.
it did. You're
Yeah, we
right,
did.
it did. We're on fire right
Well,
now.
as soon as we
Very
went on the
reassuring.
power play, I knew he was going to get at least 2 there.
I see Genesis says, I'd let Gavin win me money. That's right. We would let that do that. Got to hit them likes. Only 8. Oh, yeah. What do we got? Everybody, just be sure to smash the like button. I don't think we're going to set a goal today. Because on a night like today.
Yeah, we're sitting at 58 right now. 58.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah, well, let's make it 61. 6-1.
Let's do it.
Hey, there we go. Let's get 3 of you in there. At least smash the like button. Okay, Jay. I would be doing the nation's citizens a disservice if I didn't ask you when you come on the show. It's what everybody wants to talk about with you. Evan Bouchard so far this season. He had 2 apples tonight, I do believe, in 17 minutes and 58 seconds on the ice. It's been an up and down start to the season for Evan Bouchard. Here and there, it's the highs and the lows, the peaks and the valleys. What have you thought of his game tonight and overall throughout these 3 games?
His first 2 games were rough, and we'll just leave it at that. Remember, I feel bad that I'm harsh against him, but I see, and I know everyone else sees what I see. But anyways, better game. Not as he contributed on the score sheet, which is what he's paid to do, and. Didn't see any big gaffes or any reason to be upset on the defensive side of the game. Looked pretty quiet and unnoticeable, which is a good thing. So, tonight was a good bounce back game for him. Let's see if he can keep it going. We're playing lesser competition, right, with Nashville and Philly. Like, these are great games to kind of just sharpen the tools a little bit. So, it's a long season, so I'm not I'm not going to be critical of him for the first 2 games. A lot of 95% of the Oilers had a rough first 2 games. So, but definitely a bounce back game for him, and just hoping that he can maintain some consistency as we get deeper into the season, because we got to start racking up some W's.
That's a good point with the kind of the weaker schedule. I felt like today was a good get right game with Nashville. As I said, it was a perfect storm. I feel like Philly could be another one of those on Thursday. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We just got our first win of the season, but I could see the Oilers starting to string some wins along here now. I see the hashtag trade Jay is back in the chat. People, we can't trade Jay. He signs my checks. So I can't have that happen. I can't have that happen. Put him in a timeout, Gavin.
Hey, I'm happy with Evan Bouchard. I'm happy with the contract he's on. So you're not going to hear me be super critical of him this year. Unless you're sitting beside me at another game and he makes a big gaffe, then I might be a little bit more. But publicly, I won't be as negative.
That's your right as a fan. It's your right as a fan to yell whatever you want inside that building. I see Chris Rizzi says here, just saying, I needed Leon to score a hattie for $1,250 on a $25 bet. That's a tough one. I know
I think we've all been there.
Our boy Waz also hammered the Leon Draisaitl hat trick, and pretty much he watched a game with us in the office here, and he pretty much spent that entire third period pulling his hair out. I did think it was kind of funny that in the third period, the Oilers were on the power play, and they had, I don't know, it was a combination of Adam Ernie,
Derek Ryan was out there.
Derek Ryan, Leon Draisaitl with Brett Kulak, and I think Philip Broberg, and I was like, nice. Jay Woodcroft wants him to get that hat trick. Jay, it would have been nice.
Oh, it would have been nice. And, if I would have had a bet on that for sure too, if I was, normally betting. So it could have happened. It's the circumstance was there. So it was a good, the value was there to give it a try.
Yep.
But you better have had hedges around that though. So you don't, you would have still made some money.
Spoken like a true veteran right there. Okay, well, moving along now, let's look ahead to Thursday as the Edmonton Oilers will be taking on the Philadelphia Flyers.
Early puck drop, too.
It's going to be another early one. Yeah. 5:30 start, Mountain. So once again, pre-gaming with Bordsy. We'll be going live at 4:30. And, the Philadelphia Flyers, they're currently, I believe, 2-1 on the season. So, they've had a good start. But the Oilers should, in theory, roll over a team like this. It should be another get-right game. Jay, what's your score prediction for Thursday night?
You're right. They should win. But you can't take Philly for granted because their coach gets them playing hard. He always they're going to compete. They may suck, but they're going to compete. and it's going to be a win that we have to earn. It's not going to be given. I bet you it's a tighter game, even though I need them to score 3 to bring even up the differential, but or be up by 3. But I'm going to call it a 3-1 Oilers victory.
Gavin, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 2-1 Oilers overtime.
Nice. I was also going with the theme. I never bet the under.
No, don't.
Bet the under, so I won't. But I'm predicting, I think, a 3-1 Oilers victory. I think I'm going to keep it tight. If it's Carter Hart in the net, I think he should be having a good game. I do see here that his record is 1-1 with an .891 save percentage.
And he got a shutout tonight against Vancouver.
Well, there you go. Okay. That'll change that. I do see one thing before we wind down that Kama16 wanted to bring up. He said, late getting in. So sorry if this was already talked about. I doubt it, which it wasn't. Thoughts on the Ernie versus Smith
We
fight?
were talking about
I feel like that's an easy instigator penalty on Smith. Wasn't even a big hit by Ernie. I want to be honest with you. I'm not sure about the instigator penalty part, but Gavin, when we were watching here, we brought up that I think the Oilers were up
3-0 at the time.
3-0.
3-0 at the time.
And of course, that's what that guy's trying to do, is to get a fight, get some momentum on home ice. And I was a little surprised that Ernie took that fight. It was very short-lived.
Yeah.
Boy, did they smash into the ice. I always get a little tense when I see a guy's head going like that. Gavin, thoughts on the fight? Do you think what he mentioned here about the instigator? Did you see anything about that?
I didn't really see anything about the instigator, but like you just kind of mentioned, Aaron, was I didn't really understand that spot for us to fight. We're up 3-0. We're on the road. Why get Nashville like that kind of juice is flowing again? Like get a little bit of momentum back on their side. I didn't really get it, but obviously didn't even matter. So won 6-1.
Yep. Jay, anything? Did you notice this instigator part? I don't know. I might have to go back and watch the tape.
Man. I think it's a reach. I think it's a reach. But in terms of the fight, I loved it. You got Adam Ernie, who's competing for his livelihood to stay up with the big club. So yeah, no, guys, like, yeah, sure, there's circumstances when you don't maybe fight for that momentum, and that's always maybe a concern. But a big guy came after him. He stood up for himself. I thought it was great. That probably, the team's trying to find their identity right now, after that rough start. So I think him taking that is great. It was an okay fight. No one got hurt. There wasn't anything, it's not gonna score high on hockey fights when it goes up. But I think it's what it meant. Well, to me as a fan, just to kind of see that like the team is, they're fighting, like they're here to compete, right? They're grinding, right? So I think it was good for Ernie to do that because he's trying to stay up. So and we need some of that truculence, as they like to call it.
It's a truculence, pugnacity. I don't remember what Burke said. I don't remember all the lines, but it's a ridiculous line. I laughed at this one from Dr. Conzo. I got one more question for you of who the Oilers you want to see in nets on Thursday, but I had to get in. Dr. Gonzo said, good Lord, has Gavin's jawline get even better, or am I a monkey's uncle? What the?
Oh man.
It's a nice family vibe in here. It's full of compliments, but
I want to unpack what does a monkey's uncle mean?
I've never
heard that saying either.
I was hoping that one of you guys knew.
I've heard it. I've even used it, but I don't even know what the hell I'm saying.
Let me know in the chat what monkey's uncle means, Dr. Gonzo. I'd actually really appreciate that. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe it's whatever you want it to mean. But final question, Soup or Skinner on Thursday night? Gavin, we'll start with you.
I think it's easy. I think you go Soup 10 times out of 10. He's coming off of a 40-save performance. He's our goalie right now until he proves otherwise. I'm going back to Jack Campbell on Thursday.
Jay?
I'll take a side of soup with my Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think I'm riding Jack Campbell again as well.
Yeah. Why do you hate to say it? Why do you hate to say it? There's nothing to hate.
Well, it's just because I do think that Stuart Skinner, right, is our future. I do want to think of him as the 1A. I'm okay if he's 1B. Hey, it's no skin off my back or whatever. Like I'll be fine.
We have Jack for this year and 3 more, and we have Skinner for this year and 1 more.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that is fair.
You want the guy you're paying $5 million to be your 1A. So and or at least play up to so it's a tradable contract, and Skinner does develop and can take over the 1A job. Like I think this is a good thing. This is good for Skinner's development. Like he got exhausted last year. Like, he was not the same guy in the playoffs. And, there's obviously another conversation to be had, after that LA game, should we have started rolling with Jack? But Jack's in the net, man.
Hey,
Give it to the hot tender.
I'm all about riding the hot hand. Exactly. I don't care who it is, whoever makes the most saves in the last game. Hey, let's keep it going. I know Jack Campbell before this game, I believe his goals against was 857. So we can guarantee that one is going down. Okay, gentlemen. I think that's it for tonight. I want to give a big thank you to everybody for tuning in. I want to give another big thank you to our sponsors, Crown Royal, DoorDash, Betway, and Alberta Blue Cross. We will be unpacking this game and hopefully unpacking this bottle of Crown Royal right here tomorrow at noon Mountain Time on Oilers Nation every day, or Leon, you hot bitch, every day with Tyler Yaremchuk. So thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Jay. We will catch you all again Thursday after the game. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a great sleep. And I hope you all wake up with big smiles on your face, because I am going to for sure. Good night, everybody.
Good night.